All right, episode 4 of the TK podcast with my boy Mateo. We got a different location today at the D1 training in Hebron, Northern Kentucky. This place is sick. We're gonna get a workout after, so it's gonna be awesome. Had to get Mateo on to talk about soccer, his weight loss journey, lots of other stuff. So let's get right into it, bro. How about you just tell them a little bit about like who you are? Stuff like that.
So everything with me. I'm a trainer here at D1 Northern Kentucky. I'm a footballer as well, so I'm very active. Mainly about me is all I want to do is try to stay active as much as possible and sort of be an influencer on like younger athletes, especially who are struggling to sort of kind of grow as an athlete and as a person as well. And through my story, what I've been through over the past few years definitely can make an impact on them, because not a lot of trainers can say what what I've been through. So with me and how my career started was back in 2020. Back when I was in high school, I had an ACL meniscus tear. It was one of the worst injuries I think a player can have.
Probably, yeah.
So that was back in September of 2019. The injury happened. Surgery was scheduled a month after, in October. And the first few weeks after that recovery, it was very tough, right? I mean, the first few weeks you've been through, your operation, your recovery as well. I feel like at that moment, that's when the gates sort of opened for me, right? So going back before the injury, I've never done any like specific sort of training, like workout, performance sort of specific in that area. Never. It was just all soccer, right? So it really didn't benefit me as an athlete. I was just a player. I wasn't an athlete. I was just a player. I just played soccer. So few weeks after the injury, it really took a toll on my body. Physically, of course, I wasn't able to walk. I wasn't able to sort of do the little things around the house because with the brace, it was tough. So a few weeks after the first weeks of post-op, I was able to regain motion little by little by physical therapy, of course. And then after that, that's when I really started to miss just being active, right? Just being able to run, just being able to sort of weight bear and being able to be in that sort of environment again. So at that moment, I wanted to switch everything, okay? So that meant sort of not just focus on soccer, but also focus on like on the gym, right? Being able to lose weight. And unfortunately, in December of 2019, so roughly about 3 months after the surgery, 2 months, I'm sorry, I started noticing black spots, like dark spots around my neck. And we went to Cincinnati Children's, and I was almost like pre-diabetic at my age. 17 years old, I was having dark spots around my neck. It was tough, and at that moment, and here's everything that I've been through, right? Here's like the big picture. At that moment, when I went there, I weighed at 250 pounds. So 250 I weighed, and when I was told that, it was just a mental breakdown for me, right? So at that moment, I started crying. I just started, because even the doctor, he was telling me that, okay, listen, this is serious, right? So because you're in that pre-diabetic stage, once you're in that stage, you can't. It's not reversible. It's something serious.
For sure.
So at 250 it was hard for me. So and after that, I just sort of switched my mentality, switched my diet. I had to be comfortable being uncomfortable, right? So I mean, that's always the same. So it really did sort of change my whole mentality and like the way I look at things. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean that to have a coach or a trainer that's gone through something like that to where you are now. I mean, how much you weigh right now? Like 100?
180.
180. So you lost 70. I mean, I remember when I met you. So we played on the Kings Hammer team together, which we can talk about more. But I mean, you were a big kid then, in 2020, and then I think I saw you like a year later, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, man.
You were doing a lot. Yeah, I mean, we can, if you want to show it to like the camera, we can. Like, that's what Mateo looked like back in 2020.
So a little bit, yeah.
And then I saw you again, and I was like, whoa. Like, you lost a bunch of weight. And I was like, that's awesome, Like, and yeah, that especially that, because that most people in that situation would not have done what you've done. They would have just been like, I'll just accept it and like whatever, and just kind of be like, it's not my fault. But dude, you like just took full accountability. Yeah. And just started grinding. Yeah. And now you look absolutely fantastic, which is not many people can say that at all.
No. So. I mean, recovery was obviously a long process, right?
Yeah.
I was cleared on July of 2020.
And that was like a couple months before we started playing.
That was roughly about a month we started playing. So I would say, like he said, we competed in the Kings Hammers U23 club and the OVPL, which was the Ohio Valley Premier League, in which we still compete in today. But back in 2020, I feel like my career sort of I feel like that's when my career started.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So how about, let's talk about what being on this team did for you. Because for me, it was a great like kind of stepping stone for me playing at higher levels. Because obviously, like everybody on that team, our college seasons were all canceled, because of COVID. But it was a good team with a lot of good Division I players. We had a good a really good coach. So just tell me about like how that team kind of helped elevate your game more.
Well, the big picture was I was never in an environment like that, right?
Yeah.
I was never in that environment. I was never training 3 days a week. It was such a high volume intensity that it really just sort of flipped my whole view of the sport. I'm like, okay, this is serious now. This is what these players are performing. Like, this is like their job now. Like that's how I looked at it. Like, this is a job, and I'm here to sort of progress and sort of advance to the highest level that I can. But when I first started out with Kings, it was a great start, especially coming back from an injury.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because we had 3 goalkeepers, and I was the third, of course. But at that moment, I definitely knew that I wasn't gonna have a lot of minutes, right?
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't gonna start matches or anything like that, but I knew that going to the pitch, going 3 days a week was definitely beneficial, and that's what I took advantage of that moment and just like sort of like held it on, held it on. Right. So I wasn't worried about having minutes. Obviously, I wanted to compete. Obviously, I wanted to be on the team in that environment with the pitch on 11-11. So obviously, I wanted to have that, but the main thing that I wanted to do was just train.
Yeah.
Just train. That's all I wanted to do.
Bro,
That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So training 3 days a week, I mean, that really helped, especially coming out of an 8-month recovery process.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, like during that situation too, like I had already started going on my own kind of like journey, like soccer transformation journey and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was getting ready to go back for college like that fall. And then our season gets canceled, obviously, because of COVID. And so I was like here instead of back up in Chicago. And I was kind of like, what's going to happen, stuff like that. And then this team just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then we had like a bunch of really good players. And yeah, being able to train in that high level environment 3 times a week we probably went from early September to like the middle of December.
Yeah.
So we played a whole 10-game OVPL season, plus we played some other friendlies.
Yeah.
We did a lot of inter-squad like scrimmages, I remember, and stuff like that. So for me, it helped me kind of realize that I can play at a higher level than I was playing at.
Definitely.
And that I can compete with like these Division I level players, which like gave me the confidence to be like, okay, next summer I can go play in the USL too, which is like was a goal of mine, obviously, and it ended up happening. But yeah, great. That was such a great environment, I think, for both of us, because we were both like, we want to get better in our own games, and then we just kept training and in a good environment, and then we just kind of took off from there,
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
mean, at that moment, I knew that I was in the right place, but I sort of thought to myself, like, am I able to actually progress from here now? Because it was serious.
Yeah.
And there's only been a few other people that I told this to when I was in the squad with Kings, and like now I'm able to say in front of everybody now. When we were training, of course, every player has bad sessions. You know, we're not perfect, but we try to be with just sort of staying on task on what we do on the pitch.
Yeah.
But at that time, I weighed about like 240, 235 in that area. It really did on the bad days that I've had, like on bad training sessions. There were times that I left the pitch and then I just started crying like in the car. I honestly did.
Wow.
Yeah, at that time I started crying just in my car after a session because I just felt like I didn't belong there with these top level players.
Yeah.
And me as a sort of heavyweight, like, you know, just overweight, a kid that came from a small school, from a small town, and then training with these high level players, it was so different. But yeah, I mean, there were some sessions that I've had that I left and I just started crying in my car because I was like thinking to myself, like, do I belong here, or is this gonna help me progress after the season, or what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
But no, there's been a few moments where I started crying after. It really did affect me mentally.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, you pushed through that and you got so much better, and it just helped your career, and you're just life in general when you just like helping you lose all the weight too, which obviously is gonna help you become a better player. So that was a great season. And then I remember we played for Cincy SC in the spring of 21, but you went to Mexico for like a couple months, right? You want to talk about that a little bit?
No, I mean that time I was able to, after the 2020 season with the Kings, 21 we still continued competing together with Cincy SC in the spring. And I left Mexico, right? So I left. I was able to be there for a few sessions with the Cincy SC squad. I wasn't there fully for the whole season. I was just there for the beginning. I just went to Mexico to visit family. All right, it was my second time going to Mexico, and it was just a little vacation. I came back, and then summer came, right? Summer came, and that's when I actually started like my career with Cincy SC.
Yeah.
So that's when Brett Marshall was still in the organization. He was our head coach, and I mean, at that time I was able to get back into that environment again. You know, Cincy SC has always been a part of my career, and I always have much respect for Chris Russell and Russell Lewis. So yeah, it was good to be in that squad for the whole summer. And then 2021 finished that season in the summer, and then I believe in the fall. What was it? After the fall.
Did you play for an OVPL team then? I was back in school, so I wasn't even here for like the whole year.
No, I think let's see. OVPL. No, I was still with them in the winter.
So you played with them again in the winter, okay.
Yeah, in the winter.
Okay.
And then 2022.
Oh yeah, you played with Ginga Futsal, right?
Jenga Futsal, that was
was that
that was in the beginning
of 2021. How did that opportunity came about?
No, I mean, so, and this is when I still competed with Cincy SC, and then right after that I went into Jenga Futsala, and this was the first time I've ever
played futsal.
Futsal.
Right? Yeah.
So I heard that they were coming out with a new professional team in Cincinnati area for futsal, and I was interested, of course. And then Eric Hegarty was the general manager, and was Saturo with the head coach. So yeah, I mean, we were training 3 days a week, right, with Jenga in the facility. Very good, very good players, right? But the game of futsal is very, very fast. Right?
Oh yeah,
it's
for sure.
nothing compared to
11-a-side soccer. Yeah, no,
nothing compared. But in the winter time, that's what we did. And I was able to stay active, right? I was able to still be in that sort of competitive environment.
Yeah.
Train 3 days a week, different sort of style of soccer, different sort of style of goalkeeping, of course. But I was still able to work on my reactions, work on my, just technique, positioning. One-on-ones especially was very high in futsal.
Yeah, definitely.
One-on-ones. But yeah, no, I started with Jenga and, at that professional league, so in the National Futsal Premier League. And I was able to learn a lot,
Yeah.
I was able to enjoy it, right?
For sure.
It was a good experience. Going to different cities. We went up to Minnesota. We went to Indianapolis, Columbus. Just that whole tri-state, and it was fun.
Yeah,
it was fun. Yeah.
I've been playing in that. I remember seeing like that team because obviously I was at school then, but saw that team. I saw a bunch of different players that I knew played for them. I'm like, this looks pretty sweet. Like playing for high level futsal in the winter, like that looks really fun for sure. So let's move forward a little bit. I remember last summer I was getting ready to play for the Dutch Lions.
Okay.
And we did one session together at Riverside. You remember that?
Okay.
Like in early May.
Oh yeah.
Literally were leaving to go to Mexico, for a while though. So and you were going down there to go play.
No, yeah, I wasn't there for vacation. I was there to sort of.
Do you want to talk about that? How that like kind of came up and stuff?
No, yeah. So so I have some videos here and some pictures. When I was down there, you and I had our session, and I was like 2 weeks in, like before I was gonna leave. Right?
Yeah, it was close. I remember. Yeah.
So I managed to have my first professional trial in Mexico and Puerto Vallarta. I was able to gain contact with Joey Barletta. He is the president of Edukick Soccer. So they have like programs and teams in Spain. They have the team in Mexico. A few in Canada. So his sort of organization is global with soccer. So I talked with him about having an opportunity in Mexico, and he gave it to me. I was there for a 2-week trial. I feel like my performance was really good. I was, and the whole team was a bunch of South Americans. So it was a bunch of international players.
Yeah.
So it was good to be in that environment. We trained on the beach. It was crazy. It was a good experience. I was able to learn a lot, especially their style of play down there. So yeah, we were training Monday through Friday. Yeah. So it was a good good state for me. I was happy to be involved with that. It was a good experience.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely going internationally to play.
No, yeah,
it's different.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I've never done that. I've never done it. Hopefully, I would love to do it one day. But I bet that's just such like a different experience.
That's a big step into someone's career.
Yeah,
really a big step.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. And that's something that you gotta like take seriously, because this is like, okay, this is now a big step into my career. This could possibly change my life now.
Yeah,
because you're going into a new country.
Yeah,
like you're going into an environment that you've never been in, right? And culture-wise, it's different.
Yeah.
Tradition-wise, it's different being in a different country.
Absolutely.
So I got invited. I was accepted on the team with the Delfines of Puerto Vallarta, which translates into the Dolphins of Puerto Vallarta. But the league rules were very different. Standards of a league with a team, there had to be there was a limited number of international players, right? So unfortunately, I didn't have my dual citizenship, right? Yeah. So I had to come back. So as of right now, I'm still in contact with the consulate in Mexico. So as of right now, I'm still working on getting that through. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I'm working on right now, just to sort of get that dual citizenship.
Yeah,
right, so that, open up a lot of opportunities in Mexico.
Definitely. All right. Well, let's move forward a little bit. Talk about this summer. We're both playing with the Nitro. Northern Kentucky Nitro OVPL. Let's talk about how like that team is, and how do you think like the level is, and
well,
I think the team overall. I've known Sean for a few years now, and like the club has gotten so much better over the past few years.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Like the level of players that we have now compared to like what they had a few years ago is like night and day difference. So I think he's done a fantastic job with that. And
well, with Nitro, I first started out with their PASL.
Yeah, you play the indoor team, right?
I play with the indoor team. It's the Premier Arena Soccer League. And then right at that moment, right before the season started for that, this was the biggest news that I've received, was being invited to the MESL Pro Combine.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you remember that. No,
That's sweet.
I was there on the combine. This was in Mesquite, Texas.
Okay.
Where the MESL's Mesquite Outlaws compete in. So this was a weekend, 4-day pro combine. And I had videos here, and it was a good environment, especially a lot of players were part of the United States, right? And there were a few from different countries. But no, I was glad to be in that sort of combine. I've never been in one before. I mean, this was a good experience for me, especially. This was before the PSL league started, right? Oh, okay. So I was able to gain knowledge of the game before heading into the season for PSL. Yeah. So I was lucky enough to be involved with the MESL Combine in Mesquite. Then a few weeks later, we started out our matches with PSL, and then we did fantastically, especially in our first season ever in the PSL. We went down to Louisville for nationals. We did really good. I was happy with how everything turned out. Yeah. Unfortunately, we did lose in the semis. I'm pretty sure, in penalty shootout. But that whole experience, I'll never forget. Yeah, because it was, like I said, it was the first time for me. And the Nitro guys are cool. And then I mean now, like with Nitro, like you said, it's grown over the years, right? Yeah. So, I've told Sean a few times that like I'm happy to be in this environment, in this organization with Nitro, because I know it's gonna grow. Yeah. It's gonna continue to grow. Yeah. It already has. I mean, dude, I'm telling you, every year, because I played. We played like the NKU like club team back with King Sammer, and like it was all the NKU club guys, but over time they started getting in like better players, like guys who had played in college, and now it's like everybody on the team played. A lot of them played in college. I'd say 95% of them, or they're just like high level players, So it's gotten a ton better for sure. So in the OVPL, I'm very happy to stay with Nitro. I'm very happy to stay with Nitro. I'm very happy to sort of train with those high level guys, because unfortunately there are some teams in the OVPL that are not in that sort of competitive environment where a lot of players kind of take it seriously. But with Nitro, like I feel like I'm at the right place right now, especially with them. Yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah, well, that's awesome. So I want to ask a few more questions, kind of like not maybe so along the journey of your life, but kind of just certain questions. So how did you become a trainer here? I kind of want to know. Back in 2021, I started to, I was very involved with doing fitness, right? I was very involved with doing, with training and working out and being able to just lose weight and diet. I think with fitness, like, once you get in it, dude, like for me and for you, bro, you get obsessed with it. Yeah. Like I'm obsessed with it. I completely admit it. Like you are too. I know that for sure. I mean, I mean, so funny. Pictures. Let's see where you're at here. I'm not sure. I'm right there. I got my eyes closed. Yeah. I mean, you can see from a completely different standpoint. You were not as you are right now, of course.
Oh, no way. I'm still way. I mean, I was in decent shape then, but 2.5 years later, I'm like, been consistently working out and eating healthy for the most part and all that stuff, you know. So the little daily things, man, they make a big impact over time.
No, you sure. So what made me sort of want to be in, you know, in the fitness industry, especially with D1, like I said, me as a trainer and me coming from a history of being 250 pounds, not a lot of trainers can say that. You know? Not a lot of personal trainers, not a lot of athletic trainers can say that. So for me, being able to interact with my clients and with my athletes saying that and looking at me now, it's, you know, it's a blessing, and it like motivates them. It's almost as if I'm their mentor, right? And sort of like guiding them into success in their fitness journeys.
Absolutely.
So that's my passion, definitely. Like I said, from the moment of when I tore the ACL in that journey, it just flipped everything. Yeah, of course. So it just flipped everything.
I think what we both have had and other people, like a couple of my friends have had, is like, you live your life for so long, and then you get to a certain point where you're like, dude, I just can't do this anymore. Like, and then it just causes you to make like such a big change. Like for you, losing freaking 70, 80 pounds. For me, it wasn't losing a bunch of weight, but it was like really taking my lifting, my diet serious, so I can like get a better physique and really lose body fat, so I have abs and all that stuff, right?
And just like prevent injuries.
And prevent injuries too. Just be healthy, be fit. So like on the field, you play better. You look better, you feel better in general, you know. So and then
you'll live better later on in life. What we do right now, right? What we do right now on, you know, the facilities where we train at or the gym, wherever you go to, everything that we do right now will definitely benefit us later in life. Yeah, right. Absolutely. So that means taking care of your body, getting the right nutrients, getting the perfect amount of sleep, just overall just wellness, right? So I tell my athletes and my clients that, especially for me, because I've been through it, right? So there are 3 phases in the fitness journey. I would say the first phase is definitely sort of making it a hobby, going to the gym. A hobby is something that you like do for fun, right? And then slowly, right, the more you go, it becomes the second phase, it becomes a routine. Going to the gym and taking care of yourself every day. Not even just going to the gym, you can also do like home workouts. That's a routine, you know. And then after that, that's, you know, with a routine that also comes in with having a healthy diet, you know. And then the third phase, it just becomes a lifestyle, right? So think of it, those 3 big steps is the first phase is just making it a hobby. Second as a routine, and the third, it just becomes a long-term lifestyle. Right. So you know, just it's overall all fitness and wellness, right? Just taking care of your, you know, mental state. You know, it's been an impact on me, definitely.
It makes everything better, bro. It makes everything better. It's made everything better for me, and I bet for you too. I mean, because now you look at yourself, especially, I mean, dude, I think even more for you, because like, again, losing freaking 70 pounds, 80 pounds is that's crazy. That's crazy, especially in like the time you did it. So you can like look at yourself in the mirror and just be proud of what you've done, you know. Because you just took yourself from like a bad spot, and now you're in like such a better spot, you know. And it's helped not just like your physique or life, it's helped like your soccer, mental state, all that other stuff. There's so much like extra that it helps, not just like the physical part of it, right? Absolutely. So if you guys don't work out, start working out for sure.
It's a life changer, definitely. Absolutely. It's a lifesaver. I mean, it saved my life, because if I would have never changed into that, I could have, you know, diabetes as of right now.
I know. Dude, it's crazy, especially at like such a young age too. So
no, it's such a young age that really, that'll
scar you.
It scarred me.
Which is, but sometimes you need that to just like kick it into gear.
I think all of this happened for a reason. That's how I look at it. You know, it was devastating, of course, right? Nobody wants to have that, but I feel like it definitely opened doors for me.
Absolutely. I think like it's looking at like maybe negative stuff that's happened and just like reframing it, and to be like, this happened, like especially for me with my injury that happened a couple years ago. I mean, I could have like literally, I could have quit right then. I literally didn't have to go back to school. I mean, I could have graduated and didn't have to come back, and I could have been like, yeah, I'm done playing. But it just like motivated me even more to come back and like be successful, which ended up happening because I just was like, I'm just gonna outwork everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, this also includes to all athletes, right? I mean, with athletes, you know, with even younger athletes that kind of struggling to enter that, you know, it's a whole thing, you know, how they train. You know, like when they so athletes can train just by like working out just to gain muscle, but like there's a big difference between working out and then working out as an athlete.
Yeah.
So with plyometrics, cutting, and just doing like that, like doing their in-sport sort of style of training, you know, you have to do that, implement what you do on the workout room so that you can implement that and perform better on the pitch. So there's definitely a big difference between working out just by working out, doing whatever you want to do, and then like actually like implementing on the gym what you're going to do on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's important, especially for athletes. I mean, obviously, if you're just a normal person that doesn't play sports, it doesn't really matter.
You're just a player.
Yeah,
you're not an athlete.
Yeah. But if you're an athlete, I mean, it's definitely important to work out in a certain way where it's beneficial, you know.
And it's a style of life now as an athlete. You take care of your body. Listen to your body, of course. Because you only have one.
I know, and it's such an important part. So, all right, I want to move on to what are your goals in soccer, like long-term goals as a player, like how far do you see yourself going, stuff like that?
No, I mean, I'm definitely still planning on going back to Mexico for sure. Once I get my dual citizenship, that would definitely benefit me into my career in Mexico. But as of right now, I'm very happy with where I am with Nitro, and then I'm also training with Kings FC at the USL too. So I'm back in that environment with Paul Nicholson and his team, and then training with Nitro, being in the squad with Nitro. So my biggest thing right now is just to become the best version of myself. And obviously I've done a whole lot, and I'm not sort of putting that to waste. I really want to become the best version of myself and benefit, you know, my sort of career.
Absolutely.
And sort of just progress. That's my biggest goal right now, just to become the best version of myself and being able to reach the highest level that I can.
It's maximizing your potential. That's what I tried to do, bro. Like once I realized I was like, I can get a lot better at this game, it was how far can I take this? You know, can I do stuff that people never thought I could ever do? Like play the USL too. Like bro, in high school, if you would have told me that, I would have been like, you're crazy. That's like one of the highest levels, highest pre-professional league in the United States. Would I ever be a college for my captain or a captain for my college team? Like people would have been like, you're crazy. And then it happens because you decide I'm just gonna push myself and push myself as far as my potential goes, just as far as you can.
And for athletes that are struggling, I would say just surround yourself in that positive environment.
Yeah, definitely.
Just put yourself in that positive environment so that, you know, you could advance, and that's definitely gonna like switch your mentality and like switch the way you look at things.
It's good to be in an environment where like people are pushing you, whether you're in a team environment or like whether you're in a place like this where there's other athletes and trainers that are just trying to help you get better, and then you just got to put the work in, and then you'll see the results over time.
I mean, for me, my biggest job right now is to guide people, and then it's their jobs to open the door so that they can advance.
For sure, yeah, bro. All right, let's talk about, you just trained with Ocho Cinco a couple days ago. Talk to me about how that came up, because I know obviously that like $77 million tournament is like going on right now, and it's the Natty team or whatever. So just talk to me a little bit about that.
Natty SC, I was invited to go train with them, with Natty SC, a bunch of former FCC players that competed back in the USL when the first year started. No, being in that sort of in that stage with a bunch of former FCC players, and going into the facility.
Yeah, so, playing at the facility is super nice.
It was really a great moment for me. But training with those guys, former FCC players, and with Chad Ochocinco, I mean, it was definitely a blessing. It was definitely a time that I would never forget, a moment that I would never forget. but I know that picture did go off though. That picture went everywhere.
I gotta use this as a thumbnail, bro. That is sick.
That picture
there.
went everywhere on the news, and it was crazy.
Bro.
But
just think about it. Like a few years ago, you were playing for some like high school down in Kentucky, and now you're freaking training on FCC field with Ocho Cinco.
Yeah, I was coming from a small school and small town in Kentucky. It's especially south in Kentucky. No, that's being able to be with these guys. I mean.
That's sweet.
You never can say
That's
that.
Sweet, bro. Yeah. No, that was all. I remember I saw it on Instagram. I was like, that is dope, dude. Out here training with like at their facility. Yeah. I've been there. We played there one time against their academy team with King's Hammer. Yeah. It's so nice. That facility is so nice. Yeah. That was dope.
But I look at it as an athlete just training with these other athletes, right?
For sure.
These players that are, just to compete. I'm one of them, right?
Yeah. So, exactly.
But it's a moment that we'll never forget. Definitely, it's a great experience.
Definitely, bro.
But that's how I look at it. It's just an athlete, a footballer training with other footballers.
Yeah, I think we've both been in situations where it's like we've played with like professionals before.
We've had.
But it's like we respect them, but we're also there to just get better. Compete, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, just trying to get better. Just competing with them for sure.
Definitely.
Sweet, bro. That picture was really cool.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, bro. I think we're gonna wrap it up.
No,
that was sweet, bro. You got any final words how about this? Any advice to younger athletes or players that are just getting started? Like, what is it one thing they should do to just like make their career as good as they can?
No, I mean my biggest thing is to work with athletes, right? Especially younger athletes. So my biggest advice for them, like I said, the 3 phases: make it a routine. Make it a hobby, make it a routine, and then make it a lifestyle. That goes a long way, especially with these athletes, because some of them are struggling to be surrounded in an environment, especially at a young age. So, my biggest advice for them is definitely take it seriously, and it's a job. It's a job, especially for young athletes. They have to take it seriously, and they have to sort of flip their mentality,
absolutely,
so that they can progress. And just train as hard as you can, and like the saying always says, just like never give up mentality. Just surrounding yourself in that environment, just trying to train for it, right? So this is because each day you're growing, each year. You become a 8th grader, going into a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Each time, time is ticking. Mm-hmm. And time goes super fast.
For sure.
So you have to use all those 4 years, take advantage of it, and then it's just to progress from there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. So, yeah. Well, gonna have to start doing this too. I just became a high school coach for JV for my old high school, Anderson. I'm like new JV head coach, and I think the big thing for me is like being able to show these because they're like 14, 15 years old at like high schoolers that they're just, some of them are just coming into high school soccer, some of them like have played for different clubs all over the place, and it's like getting them to realize that this is like serious, like of course we want to have fun and blah blah blah, but you get in you get out what you put into it, So if you come to practice every day and are serious and want to get better, like you will get better. But if you come, you're not locked in, you're just like going through the motions, it's going to show in the long term, right?
And here's the biggest thing with athletes, and I've seen it because I've been through it, and I'm looking at it today with these younger athletes. They come in to the training ground and they sort of just like have a good time. Yeah. They sort of just have fun with the team. Mm-hmm. They sort of just like goof around, right? So when I see that, I'm like, okay, flip it, because once you're here to perform. Yeah. You're here to perform in front of coaches, coaches that have contacts, coaches that can sort of give you a referral to college coaches.
Yeah.
So everything that you're doing, they're taking note of that, and all of that information is going to be sent over to college coaches. So once you're on that pitch, everything has to flip. Everything has to change.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like when you come to work, practice, like you switch on, do the work, and then after, if you want to mess around or whatever, when it's over, that's completely. Like that's what I would say to my college teammates. Like, I was like one of our captains last year, and I'd be like, look, guys, like we have 90 minutes and 2 hours out here. I know we've all had classes, we've all had other crap going on, whatever, but when we're here, all focus on the game. All focus on getting better, whatever we're trying to get better at, like if we're possessing or like building out the back, whatever. Focus on that. After practice, we'll go back in the locker room, we'll have a good time, listen to some music, we don't gotta think about it anymore, but when it's time to work, it's time to work.
It's a job.
You know, it's a job for sure. And especially when you get to those higher levels that like we both have played at and play at, you know, it is a job for sure. It's not like all fun and happy and unfortunately
we're not gonna have this later down on our roads, you know.
Yeah.
When we get older, that's why we gotta just take care of ourselves now so that we can have a longer career.
Yeah, and just being like grateful for every single day of it. You know? That's a big thing. Because I've like played in high school, played in college. Now I'm done with both of those, right? And like after high school, obviously I was sad because like my high school career was over. But then I was like, I got college, new experience, right? But when my college career like finally ended, the biggest thing I learned was like, it goes by so fast. You have to like just be present and just be thankful and grateful for like every single day. Even when you're having a bad practice, just be like, I'm so glad I'm out here instead of doing something else. You know?
You know, that's what Paul Nicholson says. You know, be grateful that you're on the pitch and playing football because he wishes that he could be with us. Like just training. Like I'm very grateful to be in that environment with the team. I'm very grateful to still compete after high school, especially coming from that injury. Yeah, I'm definitely very grateful to still be competing.
Absolutely,
bro. Still train. Yeah.
Same with me, dude. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, especially after your injury, my injury, bro. Like the possibility to come back. That teaches you a lot to be like, look, it can get taken away like that, you know. One tackle, one turn, you're out for 5 months, 9 months, whatever it is, you know. And then, so you just take that even more makes you just be so grateful for every day to be on the field. Even if it's just like a light practice, you're just still like, dude, I'm out here playing, bro, with my friends on this great team for school, whatever it is, for this great club, and then it just makes everything better. So.
Perfect. Yeah.
All right, bro. That was sick.
Good.
Mateo, bro, my man. So this is gonna drop on June 4th, which is tomorrow. We have a Nitro game tomorrow too.
Yeah, we do.
So that'll be fun. But yeah, episode 4 was fantastic. Now we're gonna work out, obviously, because bro, we work out pretty much every day. So yeah,
we're at D1.
We're at D1, bro. I gotta put it in. So all right, guys, we'll see you in the next one.